afternoon all. On behalf of IOT Academy, we welcome you all for the 6th session of National Level Faculty Refresher Program on Teaching Strategies, Methodologies and Technologies in HEIs. Let me introduce the resource person of today's session, Dr. Ankita Shukla. She is currently working as an assistant professor, Department of MBA, Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Greater Noida. She has more than 12 years of experience in academics. Her academic qualifications include BA, MA, MBA, and PhD in management. She has attended numerous FDPs, national and international conferences, workshops, and seminars on research methodology, and has also presented a paper entitled Work Stress and Coping Strategies Among Women Entrepreneurs in India. Some of her research publications include Stress Among College Students and How to Overcome It, and Human Resource Management and Futuristic Approach. She is also the member of Admission and Cultural Committees. With this, we hand over the session to Dr. Ankita Shukla. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So now I'm presenting here topic Design Thinking for Teachers in HEIS. So first we represent the generating new ideas. Generating new ideas are the key to innovation. Without them, there isn't much to execute, and because execution is the key to learning, and the new ideas are necessary for improvement. So it's obvious ideas alone won't make innovation happen, and we need to be able to build a systematic process for managing those ideas. The point of ideation isn't just about generating tons of them, but about paying attention to the quality of those as well. And what is idea generation? Why it's important? Idea generation is described as the process of creating, developing, and communicating abstract, concentrate, or visual ideas. It's a front end part of the idea management funnel, and it focuses on coming up with possible solutions to perceive or actual problems and opportunities. Generating design ideas, innovation management generates and selects ideas, refine and evaluate, validate and test and implement. The tools and techniques for generating ideas. Idea challenge. Idea challenge is a focused form of innovation where you raise a problem or opportunity with the first of coming up with creative solutions. The point of idea challenge is
Excuse
to
me, ma'am.
participate in ideas. Hello?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am?
Ma'am, sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Again, your voice is not clear, ma'am. There are some disturbances, ma'am.
Oh, okay, I can change the place. Wait a minute. So sorry.
No issues, ma'am.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Ma'am, your voice is cracking, ma'am.
Okay, my voice is not clear, but how can it possible? Actually, it's a bad all things are good.
No, there are disturbances, ma'am. We are not able to get you properly, ma'am. That's why.
Just a minute.
No issues. Ma'am, can you try using microphone, ma'am?
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Hello?
Can you try using microphone, ma'am?
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Ma'am, you can use microphone by holding your to mouth, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, you can use
Yes.
microphone by holding your to mouth, ma'am, so that
Yeah, yeah,
it
ma'am,
will be clear.
I'm using microphone, and am I audible? My voice is clear?
Your voice is very low, ma'am.
No. Okay. Now,
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Now it's perfect, ma'am.
perfect. Okay, ma'am. So, shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You can continue, ma'am.
Okay. So, use and techniques for generating ideas, idea challenge, and idea challenge is a focused form of innovation where you raise a problem or opportunity with the hopes of coming up with creative solutions. The point of idea challenge is to participate in ideation and generate ideas around a predefined theme for a limited period of time. And it's a big because there are two types of idea challenges: problem centric and solution centric approaches. You should first clarify whether you are looking to identify challenges or develop potential solutions for them. Problem, plan, and solution. Discover, define, develop, and deliver. So it's a tools and technique for generating ideas, Scamper technique. The Scamper technique is created by Bob Aberley and is a method used for problem solving and creative thinking. It's a holistic way of applying critical thinking to modify ideas, concepts, or processes that already exist. The purpose of the Scamper is to make adjustments to some parts of the existing idea, a process to reach the best solution, and it consists of seven actions that can be used to replace parts in the process. Substitute, combine, adapt, modify, put to another use, eliminate, and reverse. So opposite things. Opposite thinking is also very tools and techniques for generating ideas. Opposite thinking. Opposite reverse thinking is the technique that can help you question long held assumptions related to your business. And it's a useful tool to consider if you feel your team is stuck with the conventional mindset. And coming up with those out of the box ideas seems to be difficult. Often finding the best solutions aren't found through a linear thought process. Although our brains are wired that way, opposite thinking can help us question the norm. With this type of thinking, you consider the exact opposite of what's normal, and you can even think backwards to find unconventional solutions. So it's very important that brainstorming, advertising executive Alex Osborne developed the original approach and published it in his 1950 book, Applied Imagination. Since then, researchers have made many improvements to his original technique. The approach described here takes his research into account, so it's subtly different from Osborne's approach. Brainstorming combines a relaxed, informal approach to problem solving with lateral thinking. It encourages people to come up with thoughts and ideas that can, at first, seem a bit crazy. Some of these ideas can be crafted into original, creative solutions to a problem, while others can spark even more ideas. It helps to get people unstuck by jolting them out of their normal ways of thinking. Therefore, during brainstorming sessions, people should avoid criticizing or rewarding ideas. We're trying to open up possibilities and break down incorrect assumptions about the problem's limits. Judgment and analysis at this stage strengthens idea generation and limits creativity. So evaluate ideas at the end of the session. This is the time to explore solutions, further using unconventional or conventional approaches. So to run a group brainstorming session effectively, follow these steps. Step one, step one, prepare the group. First step, comfortable meeting environment for the session. Make sure that the room is well lit and that you have the tools, resources, and refreshments that you need. So prepare the group and a comfortable meeting environment for the session, and all things are rearranged properly. Second step, present the problem. Clearly define the problem that you want to solve and lay out and criteria that you must meet. Make it clear that the meeting's objective is to generate as many ideas as possible. Give people plenty of quiet time at the start of the session to write down as many of their own ideas as they can. Then ask them to share their ideas while giving everyone a fair opportunity to contribute. And instructor guide the discussion. Guide the discussion once everyone has shared their ideas. Start a group discussion to develop other people's ideas and use them to create new ideas. Building on others' ideas is one of the most valuable aspects of group brainstorming. Encourage everyone to contribute and to develop ideas, including the quietest people, and discourage anyone from criticizing ideas. So, uh, right now, I'm describing about the types of brainstorming. Types of brainstorming: firstly, reverse brainstorming, and stop and go brainstorming, paralysis brainstorming, and brainwriting. Reverse brainstorming. Reverse brainstorming, a creative problem solving technique in which the problem is turned around and considered from a different point of view. So it's for new and different solutions. And stop and go brainstorming, a problem solving technique in which a group alternately engages in a short period of evaluation and the group continues alternating between brainstorming and evaluation. And Philip 66 brainstorming, a problem solving technique in which a group of six people brainstorms for 6 minutes, and then a spokesman for each group presents either the best ideas or all ideas to the larger group. So, brainstorming, a problem solving technique in which participants individually brainstorm ideas and document them, then share them with a group to further push their thinking. Brainstorming, there are four rules of brainstorming. No judgments. This is the first rule of creativity in general. Really think freely, as I said before, no matter how crazy it is. While brainstorming ideas are neither silly nor impossible, big numbers, the more ideas, the better. Many heads are better than one. Mind mapping. What is mind mapping? Mind mapping was developed as an effective method for generating ideas by association. In order to create a mind map, you usually start in the middle of the page with the central theme, main idea, and from that point you work outward in all directions to create a glowing diagram composed of keywords, phrases, concepts, facts, and figures. It can be used for assignments and essay writing, especially in the initial stages, where it is an ideal strategy to use for your thinking. Mind mapping can be used for generating, visualizing, organizing, note taking, problem solving, decision making, revising, and clarifying your university's topic. So that you can get started with assessment tasks. Essentially, uh, Essentially, a mind map is used to brainstorm a topic and it's a great strategy for students. Mind mapping. A standard mind map begins with the following shape. You may prefer to turn your paper to landscape and place your central theme, main idea in the center of the page. Draw lines, arrows, and speech bubbles, branches, scale or any other visuals to show the connection to the central theme and main idea. So cluster similar information together and form sub branches. So it's a mind mapping look alike, main idea, and can do all shapes and follow all things. So mind map look alike, main idea. Mind mapping. The following mind map is a basic model with which you can get started on a research topic. What, why, when, where, how, when, and main idea. The following mind map is a basic model with which you can get started on a research topic. What, where, when, how, and why. And then find the main idea. So it's a basic main things are mind mapping. Example, mind mapping strategies for climate change as a topic, looking after the earth and knowing that you are doing your best. Save money on car and fuel and local holidays, sensible holiday overseas. It's just it can be described as Adam and this can be described as a condition of mental health, stress or distress, positive stress and a negative stress. So how can we have the mind and watching your thinking that suggests law of meditate, aerobic, weight training, exercise, stress less, mental health, and practice and commitment, celebrity inspiration, modeling, goal setting, personal energy, information, get feedback, focus, get clear on goals, and write down goals. What's the basic goals of your life, and how can we achieve all goals? Both must meet criteria. Present tense is specific, measurable, achievable, positive, and timely. But it's a meaning of smart. Smart meaning SMART, smart. Specific, measurable, achievable, positive, and timely. Breaking it down and visualization takes action and keep it alive. And information and gives feedback. So strategies for climate change as a topic, mind mapping. What are the benefits of using mind mapping? To achieve higher levels of concentration and creativity, together with greater organization and more concise communication, mind mapping might be an effective strategy for you to consider. The benefits of mind mapping are many and varied, and in summary, they include giving you an overview of a large subject, broad topic, and allowing you to represent it in a more concise fashion, encouraging you to see the bigger picture and creative pathways. So, enabling you to plan, make choices about the selection of resource, material you have for an assignment, and where you are going to place it, providing you with a more attractive and enjoyable way. It's a nominal group technique. Nominal group technique, defining the nominal group technique, meaning in name only. NGT, nominal group technique, is a structured variation of a small group discussion to reach consensus area and the domination of the discussion by a single person and encourages all group members to participate and research instead of prioritize solutions or recommendations that present the group's preferences. So step one is preparation, logistics and focus, design preparation, room preparation, meeting preparation. The second step is silent idea generation. And third one is round robin recording of ideas and a serial discussion of ideas and a primarily voting and a discussion of primarily voting and final voting. Lateral thinking. Lateral thinking is sometimes the answer to a problem. It's not the science of it that is general idea of lateral thinking. Lateral thinking involves looking in less obvious areas and lines of reasoning. It can work well if you and your partners try to put yourself in the different perspectives or or reverse the problem to look at that differently. For example, the direct solution to a loss of sales online would be to put up more ads and promotions. So direct solution to a loss of sales online would be to put up more ads and promotions. However, lateral thinking might reach alternative paths like using email marketing to reach customers that have not bought from you in a while. Tools and techniques for generating ideas. Analogy thinking. Analogy thinking is a technique for using information from one source to solve a problem in another context. Often, one solution to a problem or opportunity can be used to solve another problem. Analogy thinking can, for example, be used for analyzing a successful business, identifying what makes it great, and then applying those same principles for your business. This is an effortless this is an effortless method for coming up with new ideas that are pre-validated. Aforementioned techniques are some of our favorites for generating ideas, but definitely not the only ones out there. The ones that work for you can be found by testing different options. Creative thinking. Creative thinking is a skill which lets you consider things from a fresh perspective and different angles. It's an inventive thought process which results in surprising conclusions and new ways of doing things. Creative thinking can be added by brainstorming or lateral thinking to generate ideas. Creative thinking means thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box, creative thinking skills are techniques used to look at the issue from different and creative angles using the right tools to access it and develop a plan. Creative thinking might mean devising new ways to carry out tasks, solve problems, and meet challenges. It means bringing a fresh and sometimes unorthodox perspective to your work. So, this way of thinking can help departments and organizations be more productive. How creative thinking works. Here are some examples of how to display. Sorry. Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, how creative thinking works? Here are some examples of how to display creative thinking in different jobs. Artistic creativity. You don't have to be an artist for your work. You have an artistic element. Perhaps you arrange retail displays for maximum impact or shape the path of an anti-season hiking trail. Other artistically creative tasks might include designing logos, writing advertising copy, creating the packaging for a product, or drafting a phone script for a fundraising drive. So, how creative thinking works? Artistic creativity, and you don't have to be an artist for your work. You have an artistic element. Perhaps you arrange retail displays for maximum impact or shape the path of an indecisive hiking trail. So other artistically creative tasks might include designing logos, writing advertising copy, and creating the packaging for a product or drafting a phone script for a fundraising drive. So how creative thinking works? How creative thinking works, creative problem solving and creative in STEM. Creative problem solving stand out as innovative. A creative problem solver will find new solutions rather than simply identifying and implementing the norm. You might brainstorm new ways to reduce energy use and find new ways to cut costs during a budget crisis or develop a unique litigation strategy to defend a client. So creativity in STEM, some people think of science and engineering as the opposite of art and creativity. That's not true. The fields of science, technology, engineering, and math are highly creative. Designing a more efficient assembly line robot, writing an innovative new computer program, or developing a testable hypothesis are all highly creative acts. So the history of science and technology is filled with projects that didn't work, not because of errors in technique or methodology, but because people remain stuck in their assumptions and old habits. STEM fields need creativity to flourish and grow. So now I am explaining the types of creative thinking. Creative thinking is expressed in several ways. Here are some of the types of creative thinking you might see in the workplace. Analysis. Before thinking creatively about something, you first have to be able to understand it. This requires the ability to examine things carefully to know what they mean, whether you are looking at a text, a data set, a lesson plan, or an equation. You need to be able to analyze and open mindedness. To think creatively, set any assumptions or biases you may have any look at things in a completely new way. By coming to a problem with an open mind, you allow yourself the chance to think creatively. Types of creative thinking, problem solving, organization, and communication. Problem solving. Problem solving employees want creative employees who will help them to solve work related issues. When faced with a problem, consider ways that you can solve it before asking for help. If you need the input of a manager, suggest solutions rather than just presenting problems. If you're presenting problems every time, it's not good. And if you need the input of a manager, suggest solutions rather than just presenting problems. Organization. This might seem counterintuitive. Aren't creative people known for being somewhat disorganized? Actually, organization is an essential part of creativity, and while you might need to get a bit messy in trying out a new idea, you need to organize your ideas so others will understand and follow through with your vision. Communication people will only appreciate your creative idea or solution if you communicate it effectively. You need to have strong written or oral communication skills. You also need to be able to understand a situation fully before thinking creatively about it. That means you also need to be a good listener. You may come up with a unique solution by asking the right questions and listening to the answers. So it's a very important part of the creative thinking and design thinking. It's also we see there are many thinkers and many individuals that how can they map their mapping and how can they respond to continuous social and technological transformations. Many organizations call attention to the need for urgent changes to education systems. They thought of its collaborative and creative approach. It's cross-disciplinary and human-centeredness. Design thinking is seen as a useful mindset and method to face the challenge of a new learning paradigm. Between 2014 and 2017, seven institutional partners from six different European countries developed the research, and the goal of the deep design thinking project is the promotion of the application of design thinking as an innovation method to to rethinking. And rethink not only learning teaching methods but also pedagogical approaches. Learning is basis of the role of educators in this wider context. An open access training course for HEI educators, web trainers, was developed through which they can learn how to apply design thinking tools and how to get into its mindset, the methodological approach of the research courses, and the development of the design thinking itself. By applying the design thinking model evaluation, the research team was also different phases. The final outcome, the tool code, and the platform were validated in three ways: train the trainer, a pilot course with participants, and multi-pair event with participants. So the feedback from these three activities showed that around 80% of the participants evaluated the course material as an effective support to thrive and to learn the method of design thinking applied in an educational context. So the world is facing many unprecedented social, economic, and environmental challenges driven by accelerating globalization and a faster rate of technological development. Based on this continuous transformation, many academic, governmental, and private organizations are emphasizing the uh, urgency of changing the educational system. The students have to be prepared for jobs and that have not yet been created, for technologies that have not yet been invented, and to solve social problems that have not yet been anticipated in this context. And the future of education and skills, the students will need a broad range of skills, cognitive and metacognitive skills, critical thinking, creative thinking, learning to learn and self-regulation, social and emotional skills, empathy, self-efficacy, and collaboration, and practical and physical skills using new information and communication technology devices. There was a consensus on the need for comprehensive change to curricula and and it's a learning method and for the inclusion of transversal and transferable skills so that students can be prepared to be the agents of change. HEI, higher educational institution and vocational education training institutions need to maintain their efforts to reposition themselves in the emerging learning landscape. They must experiment with new formats and strategies for learning and teaching to be able to offer relevant, effective, and high quality learning experiences in the future. Because of its collaborative and creative approach, its cross disciplinary and human centeredness. Design thinking is a seen as a useful mindset and method to face the challenge of a new learning paradigm. So the European project design thinking applied to education and training has the goal of promoting the application of design thinking as an innovation method for rethinking not only learning, teaching methods, but also pedagogical approaches, learning spaces, and the role of educators is in this wider context, a research report, a toolkit, and an learning course for HEI and vet educators was developed. All material is available in open access, and the design thinking concept. Design has always been a catalyst for innovation. In the last decade, it has read itself of its function matter in product creation, dividing its activities into the innovation process in general. And social or educational innovation, it is now accepted that any kind of business or organization can benefit from the methods used by designers. We affirmed and still maintain that design thinking relies on the designer's capacity to consider at the same time human needs and new versions of living well, available material and technical resources, and the constraints and opportunities of the future. Design thinking is based on the ability to combine empathy for the context of a problem, creativity, generative ideas to solutions, and versatility in matching solutions to the context. Design thinking is a holistic and a user-centric method based on design cognition and design learning that enables teams to react and enact positive change in the world. Critics understood that as a way of thinking in multi and interdisciplinary teams, driving transformation and innovation by looking for new perspectives and solutions. So it's definitely applied in higher education. It's a need for educational reform.
Excuse me, ma'am.
And the value of experimental learning, creative problem solving, and design thinking, and, and increased relevance and motivation in learning projects such as design thinking for educators and many mindset and tools that have already proved that design thinking is able to offer research, creativity, and learning tools capable of boosting collective intelligence, novel and adaptive thinking, empathy with an audience, and many other skills employers and organizations seek today. Research is produced on behalf of education and culture of the European Commission, such as future learning spaces, the future of learning, new ways to learn, new skills for future jobs, the future of education and skills, and important contribution in a new vision building process for educational systems. The OECD learning framework presents a complex concept when it calls for the mobilization of knowledge, skills, attitudes, and values through a process of reflection, anticipation, and action in order to develop the interrelated competencies needed to engage with the world. This challenge requires the construction of a knowledge base for redesigning curricula and a change of curricula based on analysis of the ecosystem of many stakeholders. And it's a part of hello,
Excuse me, ma'am.
hello, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
hello,
Yes,
hello.
ma'am. Your voice is breaking at times, ma'am.
Okay, okay, okay. Am I audible right now?
Yes, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am. You're audible, ma'am.
So, so the main things and the background against which in 2014 and 2017, even institutional partners from six different European countries developed the design thinking supported by the ESMOS program of the European Commission. The seven partners are the and academia, humanistic, and the target group for the project includes and design thinking as a transpersonal learning method. So the main objective and the main goal of the design thinking project, the main goal of the design thinking is the promotion of the application of design thinking as an innovation method or rethink not only learning teaching methods but also pedagogical approaches. Learning spaces or the role of educators, focusing on the redesign of education and on the change of educators' mindset. The objective of the main is teach educators how to teach design thinking to their students, how to teach design thinking to their students, but to apply it themselves to improve the education system. In this context, a training course was developed to which HEI educators and web trainers can learn how to apply design thinking to it and how to get into its mindset. So the main achievement of this include the aforementioned research. and the toolkit and I'm learning courses. Methodological approach. The methodological approach of the research and the development of the design thinking course was applying the design thinking model evaluation, and the research team was led to the different cases applying several tools of design thinking such as trend analysis, collaborative mind maps, field observation, interviews, or rapid prototyping. The whole research process is described in the research report. So, Mind Six design thinking model evaluation was developed between and the research leader of the design think project as a result of her research studies about the creative process in design. So, the model has been applied in product and service development, workshops, coaching sessions, research projects, and methodology lessons, and creative commons attribution, international license. During the other well-known design thinking models have also been analyzed. The analysis and comparison of the models permitted the optimization of the different tools introduced to the design thinking toolkit and the M learning course contained in the e-phases of the model. So during the development of the research and the literature research and data and some new teaching methods and pedagogical activities were also carried out as well as on the application of design thinking in education. The research allowed the third framework of the study and above all, the construction of the different scenarios to be presented in the design thinking, the D-Think toolkit. The D-Think toolkit is intended to be an active workbook to support the use of design thinking as a method of bringing educational approaches and their methodologies to update and learn how to redesign learning experiences and to promote a mindset which encourages innovation. The toolkit was conceived as a way of stimulating the application of the design thinking tools by educators and trainers in different and relevant educational contexts. As a result, the research group conceived three educational contexts with two scenarios in each context. In the first context, setting the learning, one scenario is related to the pedagogical framework and the other to division of curricula. The pedagogical framework should include the expectations and the core systematic principles of the institution. In the revision of curricula scenario, the design thinking process starts with the understanding of where and how a certain course fits within the educational system and its broader program. Second context of the toolkit conceiving the learning is dedicated to two scenarios, developing contents and setting the assessment. Contents may be varied, including printed and digital materials and live performances such as classes, games, or events. In the learning contents development, the focus should be on the construction of meaningful learning experiences that simultaneously engage and challenge students and their teachers. One of the main challenges in designing and creating learning experiences to define what has to be accomplished and to ensure not only a combination of the content and the instructional methods, but also the assessment. Assessments are a combination of the content and the instructional methods, but also the assessment. Assessments are a central element in education which can affect decisions about results, assignments, improvements, instructional needs, curriculum, and in some cases, even funding and certifications. But, but the way the assessment system works today is not inspiring to students to improve their learning activities instead of being focused on quantitative evaluation. Qualitative feedback would be better suited to the diversity of the learning ecosystem. The last two scenarios of the tools which are related to facilitating the learning by first designing new learning spaces and second by rethinking. The role of the educator facilitator when working to deliver innovative learning experiences. And educators and organizations need to rethink the way learning spaces are organized. As a consequence of globalization and new technologies, the requirement for a learning environment and should be sufficiently diverse to accommodate different learning styles. As for the role of the educator, she should be more a facilitator than a teacher in the traditional way. The last scenario and the proposed design thinking tools would help educators to define better the role and the tasks of the educator as a facilitator of learning experiences, providing the intellectual, physical, and emotional growth of the students. So each of these six scenarios follows the six E phases, having between 8 and 12 design thinking tools used for the whole process. The design thinking toolkit is part of the open access learning course. Both are available in six languages. An innovative digital course that was designed with the same structure but uploaded with videos and exercises that guide and allow the testing of different contexts and scenarios. The contents are available not only online for mobile also, but also for computer screens and tablets, increasing the range of possibilities of use. So one of many conclusions of the design thinking research and the design thinking is an attitude, a model to structure and focus on innovation process. It can be applied in education and training the same way as it is used in the field of management and in any other field. Whenever one needs the creative development of process, strategies, and programs, the positive feedback from the key validation activities showed that around 80% of the participants evaluated the course material as an effective support to try and to learn the method of design thinking applied in an educational context. So participants' feedback also confirmed that the design think project provides access to an innovative pedagogical methodology in line with EU priorities, center learning, and innovative pedagogical concepts, and that is able to be used in formal, informal, and non-formal educational contexts. So, as a final conclusion emerged during the toolkit and learning course development, we can definitely affirm that the design thinking methods presented in the design think toolkit and learning course set, fostering a mindset that drives transformation, offering model educational scenarios in follow, allowing the creation of one's own pathways and toolkit, permitting selection and creating solutions for building and experiences pathways, being custom made, adaptable, and flexible, being for all education interested in redesigning the educational perspective, strategies, and methods. So, it's a response to continuous social and technological transformations. Many organizations call attention to the need for urgent changes to educational systems. So, size and idea challenge is the focus form of innovation where you raise a problem or opportunity with the hopes of coming up with creative solutions. So, there are direct observations. Direct observation through empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. EDITT. Empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So, empathize. Empathize to a real problems, just like a user interview conduct, etc. Define the main requirements. Ideate new ideas, brainstorming, and prototype dummy product, and test feedback final product. So you are able to recall it's a process of thinking. It's a process of thinking, and how can we identify and how can we understand the process that without them the result must be executed because execution is the key to learning. New ideas are necessary for making any kind of improvement. It's obvious that ideas alone won't make innovation happen, as you need to be able to build a systematic process for managing those ideas. The point of ideation isn't just about generating tons of them, but about paying attention to the quality of those as well. So now, we can conclude that ideas and design thinking and idea generation is very important for the design thinking and generating design ideas The tools and techniques are also very ideal challenge. It's a focused form of innovation where you raise a problem or opportunities with the hopes of coming up with creative solutions. So the point of idea challenge is to participate in ideation and generate ideas around a predefined theme for a limited period of time. So that's all. And thank you so much. If any question, if any query, then ask me.
The session is open for discussion now. You can unmute and interact with the resource person, or you can post your questions in the chat box also. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chetan, sir, is this a question to the resource person, sir?
No, madam. No, madam. Just you are will be providing link for feedback, and provide short questions because every day we are filling the same questions.
Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. You can post your questions in chat box also, or you can unmute and interact with ma'am. She's here to help you. Thank you all. Any questions? Ma'am, I think there are no questions from their side, ma'am. Shall we wind up, ma'am?
Okay, all right, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you all team. So thank you a lot. Thank you so much.
On behalf of IoT Academy, we thank Dr. Ankita Shukla for the enriching and enlightening session. We thank you once again for the amazing presentation, ma'am, and we thank you for enhancing our knowledge with your commendable presentation, ma'am. We thank you very much for your efforts, ma'am. I thank all the participants for joining the session today. Please, thank you, ma'am. You're welcome, ma'am. Thank you very much for your efforts, ma'am. Please submit the feedback form using the link that has been posted in the chat box. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.